Now that I have my 3 booster boxes of Ravnica 3 on hand, everything on the table right now is pretty much everything that I have cracked over the last year and a half since Guilds of Ravnica came out. And so I'm not going to crack from these boxes yet. I'm just showing them for my own viewing, for your viewing, just because this is going to set up how I go into rotation and past rotation. Okay, and so I think I'm going to crack 1/3 of each box, like 12 packs, and then take it from there. Maybe not even crack any more and leave all those packs around for the future Mega Ravnica 1, 2, and 3 cube that I have been planning for a really long time and working on. Actually, I even bought some Ravnica 1 recently when I was waiting for Ikoria. Okay, so then here on the table is what is currently going to be used for builds in this 8-set standard playlist. These are definitely going to be in. And so in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the white cards. Now, for some reason, I ended up with a pile that's slightly bigger for uncommons than for the other colors. I have no idea why, and it's also because these cards were also used to build the Guilds cube that I built last year, and that has brought in some inconsistency into how each color is dealt with. Now, the white cards have already been cleaned up, if you will, and so I will just go through them very briefly and just show. This will be for my own work, and then also in the future, also just to think about what kind of decks can we build. These are going to be all constructed builds, but every now and then I'll pop out a constructed build. Okay, so of course cats. Let me get the viewing of the cards correctly, since they're going to be down here. Yeah, down here. This is where they're going to live. So in the case of oh, there you go. That's good. That's good. So in the case of M21, M21 is coming in with cats. Okay, so that's going to be a cat deck. Now, because Ajani is a cat, that already kind of fixes that deck into a some sort of a cat life gain counters deck. Does it remain in mono white? I don't think so, because I remember the theme in cats in M21 is multicolor. I forget if cats are the ones that are Naya. I forget, because I played with the decks on MTG Arena. So really, there's an Ajani themed cat deck, but there's also an Ajani deck that is not a cat deck as well, that has these cards are too close. This is going to be the more difficult video to do, because I'm doing with all the piles in front of it. There's an Ajani deck that plays with Healer's Hawk, and then Impassioned Orator, or Orator, I don't know how to pronounce it. And so I think there will probably be 2 decks. There will be a cat deck in which Ajani goes into, and then there will be, I think it turned out to be mono white with the M20 Ajani, which I don't have, but I will get, where there's a life gain deck for Ajani. Okay, now of course white, these are all Ravnica 3, I should have said. This is all 3 sets. There's cards like this dude, the Panther, which are clearly Orzhov. Okay, and then of course these cards are clearly Boros. I will discuss these builds when I get down to all the multicolored cards back there. Okay, so right now I'm really going for what are the few monocolored decks that are really more Theros and Eldraine centered that these cards are used with. So I think for white, it looks to me, and I'll go through the uncommons as well. I mean, mostly the uncommons. This is really just a sketch video. This is a what to build kind of video. And of course, I've got a really big pile of uncommons. So there's cards that are really strong that go in pretty much any deck. Okay, they're the any deck card. Let me see if I can do. I have to do them in yet smaller piles because of the angle that I've chosen for the tripod. There's also a white weenies deck, but of course, with in a format with a Johnny really forces our hand because it is such a strong card, and it can go just completely wild, even though it doesn't fly. Of course, with enchantments, I make it fly, which I've tried, and it's really, really good. For fun, again, all these are really fun builds. There's nothing here that's going to be competitive. Nobody's going to rush from this video and go play a competitive deck and win a single game. Okay, so that's my own negative advertisement there on my ability to help you with your competitive decks. But there's really a white weenies deck, but that if you're going to do that, you're really down to a Janny and Cats. That's two separate decks. So we're really still with only white or mostly white cards from Ravnica 3. We're really down to two decks. And actually the Cat deck is going to go into other colors. And the Ajani deck can go into other colors as well. Okay. Now strong cards that will go into many decks that are really guaranteed to go into the cube. This is all about building a constructed cube. Are cards like the enchantments, because or what I call the tuckers, because they tuck cards during a game, which are this guy and this guy. Okay, so these cards are gonna be featured in pretty much every white deck, even though this one is really a Celestia, white green. So this playset is already in the cube, guaranteed. And I need to complete this playset, which I will once I start cracking packs. I'll definitely crack 12 packs of each set from the booster boxes that I showed earlier in this video. And I mean, this card is just so strong, and luckily I pulled two. Okay, and then of course there is the gods, which I think I only have Okitra, and I'm going to try to get all 5 over time. I'm not sure which deck they go into. Probably all decks that will accommodate white in these builds. Okay, so I think that's sort of, let me look through a few more cards for white, just to call it a day on the white theme for Ravnica 3. Very strong card. I've actually pulled it off in Arena where X was more than 10. It's pretty good. I think I lost that game though, but it is pretty good when you pull it off. So there you have it. That's really white. So I would say summary for white, outside of the guilds, the Cat deck of M21, which has Ajani, and then some sort of life gain counters deck also with Ajani. So 2 decks for mono white.